Welcome back to Midlife Mayhem, the podcast all about midlife and the beautiful chaos it brings. I'm Kim Branham, RN, BSN, and owner of Thin Space Wellness. Welcome back. So today is episode number 16, and we are quickly approaching the holiday season. So I thought today would be a great day to talk about fractures in the holidays. By fractures in the holidays, I mean internal fractures, maybe internal struggles that you're dealing with, familial fractures. That can be loss of a loved one. It can be severed ties between you and another family member or other family members not involving yourself. These fractures, for whatever reason, really seem to be brought up during the holiday season. There are a lot of people going through sadness right now in the holiday season. I know of several people who have lost very close loved ones in the past couple of days. And going into the holiday season becomes very challenging because how do you celebrate and feel joyous when you're sad? That's a hard one for a lot of people. So my heart really goes out to those people that are entering the holiday season with loss. So that is a very hard situation to be in. So many prayers to you and your family, those of you that are going through that. I think there are people out there who just enjoy the holidays. They love the holiday season. There's no stress. Their family just gets along great. There's no drama. This is just my opinion that I don't think that that's probably the norm. Just based on the conversations I have with people that I know, my patients, my friends. It really can be a stressful time for people. And I think people experience a lot of guilt with the shoulds of what they should do for the holidays. It wasn't until my midlife that I actually had enough self-confidence and enough self-awareness, I guess, to realize what boundaries I needed to set for the holidays that would protect my heart and the heart of my family members, my immediate family, my children, my husband. So, the holidays are not bad for me. I don't dread them. I don't look at the holidays and think, oh gosh, this is going to be crazy. But I also, we're at a place in our lives where the holidays don't feel crazy because we don't make them that way, if that makes sense. Because we're a blended family, my type A personality has been reduced to at least a diet type A, if not type B. I think I'm still type A, but just like a very loose type A at this point. But with, sharing custody with other people and our kids, our papers always said that we had to have the kids exchanged on Christmas Day at noon. And so I really had to let go of that stress of just being such a stickler about the papers, especially at the holidays, because what's best for the kids, right? Like, okay, yeah, you open your presents, get up, it's time to go. Got to go to the other parent's house. Oh, here, open up more presents. So I really had to get a little more lax with that. So the past couple of years, we've not had the older boys for Christmas for several different reasons. But at moments, I feel sad about that. I really do. But on the other hand, we still get to celebrate with them. And it doesn't matter. Christmas is a celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ. So no matter who you're with and what you're doing, that is celebration in itself. But the other bigger pieces, that seem to become bigger are, the get-togethers and who you're with and who you're celebrating with, which is not necessarily the focus, but it becomes that, if that makes sense. But it doesn't matter. I learned this from a friend of mine a long time ago. It doesn't matter if you celebrate Christmas on Christmas Day. It doesn't matter if you celebrate 2 weeks into January. So I feel a lot better as a diet type A person with that mentality that, if it's easier for my stepson to be with his mom's family for Christmas so he doesn't have to travel on Christmas Day, so be it. We'll see him the week after Christmas. It's okay. Doesn't make it easy, but it's okay. Does that make sense? So it's all some of it becomes perspective. Like, how staunch are you going to be about making Christmas what you think it should be? But the other piece of it is being able to set up healthy boundaries surrounding the holidays. And going into the holidays, what are you doing that you're dreading this holiday season? Are you going to the in-laws No offense, Granddaddy Steve, Mimi, Jackie. But you're going to the in-laws and feel like it's going to be this really stressful time. Like maybe you need to readjust, and instead of going for a whole weekend, you go for a day trip. I mean, there are adjustments that you can make. And in my case, it became, we were doing these big family Christmas celebrations with my side of the family. We had a blow up one Christmas between me and my stepsister, and I feel like I ruined Christmas. My dad and stepmom said they'd never do that big of a get together again. In hindsight, I know it was for a lot of other reasons other than just me, but it felt like I ruined Christmas for that side of my family. There's a lot of backstory there, but I won't get into it. But yeah, that was after that Christmas happened. That was when Steve and I were engaged, and he came with me for the first time. My brother and his wife decided they no longer liked me or wanted to talk to me, so that made it very stressful. And my stepmom and stepsister decided to jump all over me because my stepmom believed that she found out about my engagement to Stephen on Facebook, which was not true. I called my parents immediately after he proposed to me, before we put anything on Facebook. Anyway, but that going into that Christmas, I felt very stressed. And in hindsight, I probably should have just not gone. But I didn't even think that that was an option, if that makes sense. I don't know. So I think that was the start of me learning how to set healthy boundaries for protecting myself and my family. So I learned from that moment moving forward, I was not going to put myself in a situation where I was going to give power to my little brother and his wife to make me feel, not that they were making me feel, but I felt very stressed and it was very uncomfortable. My kids could sense it. They could see it. They're like, why isn't Uncle Chris talking to us? I don't know. He would never tell me. He never to this day, after 15 years, has not told me why they stopped talking to me. I have no idea. But there were some healthy boundaries that had to be set in that. So I think if you've listened to other podcasts, you've heard me talk about cutting ties with some relationships and how you can still be kind to people, but it's okay to not continue relationships. And if you're the only person carrying a relationship and you stop taking the initiative, does the relationship melt away? And if it does, what does that say about the relationship in the first place? Sad, but it's true. And I've had several situations like that where I've had to take a step back because I realized I was carrying a relationship that wasn't meant for me, if that makes sense. But anyway, back to the holidays. I think the important thing about the holidays is just to be able to slow down. Sometimes you can't do that, but it really is important to slow down and really think about the meaning of the holidays, who it's important for you to be with at the holidays, and what areas you can eliminate or at least, protect yourself from that make you uncomfortable and take away from you instead of adding to. I've known people that have gotten so busy at the holidays and they're going to 3 different places on Christmas Day and they're not enjoying any of it because their spread's so thin. So it's like if you can focus on just like aim small, miss small. Isn't that what they say? Like if you can focus on the important parts of the holiday, that's something that's become very important to me, is to really slow down, spend time with my kids, spend time with my husband. And I'm very flexible about the holidays now, and I've not always been, but sometimes it could be spent with anybody. I don't know. I don't even know what we're doing this holiday. So we're in Colorado. I know that for Christmas. My stepson's flying in Christmas night, so that'll be fun. And I know we're going to ski some, but it's like giving up control of the holidays has felt really good. And it doesn't feel challenging anymore. For a while, it felt challenging because I felt just out of control, unsettled. And when I have too much time on my hands, when I don't have things planned out, that's when I start getting a little down. And that's when the fractures of like losing my mom comes up, my dad being gone, Nana and Granddad being gone. Like those fractures kind of come to the surface when things get quiet and slow. Because for what I do with the wellness practice, we stay slam busy up until Thanksgiving. The beginning of December is still pretty busy. But then the last like 2 to 3 weeks in December really slows down a lot because people are, guess what, with their families. So as it slows down, I find myself with a lot of time on my hands and a lot of thoughts coming to the surface. So the fractures are going to come up. And I think as long as you have time to really process through the fractures and not continue to stuff them down so that next year they don't come up bigger. If you can process through what those fractures are and pay attention to them because they're your body and your mind and your heart telling you something. So again, whether it's, something going on in your family, if there are fractures where you're, you don't have a relationship with a certain person in your family anymore. Those fractures, not that they have to be addressed with the person, but you can deal with it on your own and just spend some time processing through instead of ignoring. But the bigger piece is, I think, listening to your gut with what you're spending your time, where you're investing your time for the holidays. Those people that are dealing with significant loss this year, my heart goes out to you. And those of you who have dealt with significant loss in the past, my heart goes out to you because I know it's still equally hard at the holidays. Once those holes are there, they open back up just a little bit at the holiday season, right? Do you feel that way? Loss seems to come up at those times. And again, I think for me, a lot of it's the slowness and the quietness of it is when my mind starts going and all these memories come flooding back in, all these unresolved fractures, unresolved holes that are there. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that and just wanted to let you know that whatever you're going through this holiday season, I hope it is a joyous celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ. And I hope that it is filled with family and love and peace and slowness and no drama. I hope there's no drama in your holiday. I hope that for my holiday too. But yeah, just midlife has given me that gift, I think, of being able to kind of step back and just let go of control, set some healthy boundaries, and just let the holidays be what they're going to be and being happy with it. So yeah, that's it. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday season. And I will be back with our next podcast will be after Christmas. So that one will be a great one. It's going to be a great way to kick off the new year. I may do one next week, which is the week before Christmas. So we'll see. It'll be a surprise. But I feel like I've got so many things to talk about, like with coming into the holiday season, even people, if you look at it from a wellness perspective, people are coming into the holiday season. Some people are feeling great. Like I feel like since I lost my weight, I've lost 45 pounds and it's been 2 years and I've kept it off. Praise Jesus. Like I'm so happy. But I finally feel like I'm to the point where I'm not going into the holidays feeling like, oh, I'll start New Year's Day. But I feel like there are a lot of people that are in that mindset of, okay, they're not feeling great in their own skin. They're not feeling healthy. They're not feeling well. And they're coming into the holidays and it's hard to like be happy and be celebratory when you don't feel good and when you don't feel comfortable in your own skin. So I'm really hoping for people that like they're coming into this holiday season with a different mindset of wellness, of longevity, of taking care of their bodies, and not necessarily having to wait until January 1st. So I think next week I will do a podcast and kind of talk about those things and maybe focus on the ways that we help people, specifically at our practice, that can change lives. And it makes me so happy. I love my job. I love my practice, my patients. Thank you, patients, for your trust in me, and Stephen, for your care. It just fills me up to see people beaming, just so happy that they're not stuck anymore. That's how I feel because I was there. Oh my gosh, I was very stuck and feeling very overweight. It's not always a weight thing. It's just about wellness. So anyway, I think next week I will do that. I'll do a podcast and talk about the services that we offer just from an educational perspective and what they do for longevity and wellness and how they can help support people in midlife through the midlife mayhem. All right. So I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season. Thank you for listening. And I'd love to hear from you. If you have topics for the podcast, if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, please let me know. Yeah, I love it when people send me messages. It makes me happy. It makes me happy that there's that connection. So I love hearing people's stories, just like you guys can't talk back to the speakers, right? So it makes me happy to hear from you. So please send me a message. It's kim@thinspacewellness.com. All right. Happy holidays, everybody. I'll be back next week with a very short little podcast, and we will talk to you soon. Happy holidays.